If you've seen our work, urban, suburban, or rural, one of the driving tenets is simply designing for all the senses. How does it feel effortless integrating nature and natural light wherever you can? An entire north facade facing the bay, the heroic, iconic view. How do you create not the 20-year home, not the 100-year home, but a 200-year home? We're in a townhouse in Cow Hollow in San Francisco, California. There's actually a triptych of ideas that drove the form of the home. First being embracing sustainability as a primary tenet. The second was, how do you design a modern townhouse in San Francisco that relates to the context of the various historic buildings that surround it? And thirdly, how do you embrace the remarkable bay view that encapsulates Golden Gate Bridge, Alcatraz, all the major iconic features of the Bay Area in one fell swoop? So upon entry, one of the things you're going to notice is that you enter actually in a single-story space near the kitchen. And then immediately there's a dramatic two-story volume, the living room and dining room, opening up to the remarkable bay. Floating up above is actually the study, but the ethos of this entire space is a sculpture of indirect light. Also, translucent glass provides shadowing and western light through to the dining room, while you have this portal of view of the tree canopy right beyond the kitchen. And also, we've created a two-story art canvas for an art collector to display their incredible work. If you've seen our work, urban, suburban, or rural, one of the driving tenets is simply designing for all the senses, creating a psychological and a physiological study, thus that when a human being occupies a home or an office or a restaurant, how does it feel effortless in it, how it cradles you acoustically, how does it smell? But it's really about designing to the human brain and body. We're not trying to add a building into a given context. What we're trying to do is listen so closely that it feels like the building is rising up and we're extracting the building out of the site, designing to the most critical principles, and so that language drops away and you're really designing, in particular in architecture, to the science or the art. I mean, we always talk about in the studio, how can every gesture of a building have 4 or 5 reasons for being? One of the things that was quite intentional was creating a dropped living room, such that when you're at the dining room table, you're seeing over the entire furniture arrangement. So you're kind of nestled into the living room, the vaulted ceiling opens up, skylight opens up, and you have this dramatic 2-story space displaying this remarkable drift sculpture and light fixture. But again, there is an intimacy added by having the study floating above with incredible frame views of the Golden Gate Bridge. The materials were driven, starting with, how do you create not the 20-year home, not the 100-year home, but a 200-year home? And that starts with the permanence of the east and west 4-story concrete walls that anchor the home in the site, giving it this incredible timeless quality. And then within those 2 brackets is almost all wood, from mahogany doors, beautiful walnut floors, cedar on the siding in the front and on the brise-soleil, and then walnut cabinetry. All this together, the wood and the concrete complement one another. They provide this incredible timeless quality, but a beautiful warmth and sensual quality to the home. Going back to the physiology of the human body, and when you are on Earth or terra firma, you really embrace stone and heft. But when you're floating, you use lighter materials like wood and potentially gap them so you can see through, so you truly feel like you're floating in the air. So upon crossing the bridge, you have 2 destinations. One is an incredible study that gives panoramic views of the bay, and then you cross outside and you ascend to the rooftop. All of this is light wood, floating in nature, and tactily rich. The exterior skin of the building was heavily focused on designing in the context of the neighborhood. So you want the home to fit in kind of quietly and elegantly within the neighborhood. So this is a south-facing street facade. You're getting southern sun all day long. If you walk down the street, all those homes, their shades are closed, not for privacy, but to mitigate sun. So if you'll notice, the front facade that we've designed is a solar brise-soleil. It's a sculpted wooden shading device, permanent shading device. What it does is it bounces the southern light in, creating beautiful natural light, indirect light all day long. So you're basically getting a view out, mitigating solar heat and solar glare, while also the beauty is, given the depth of these fins, create privacy. So anyone standing on the street can't see in. Continuing on the thread of kinetic architecture, we have this opportunity to create privacy from the kitchen to the dining room. And here you have a translucent wall that retracts out of the cabinetry and creates a ethereal scrim that provides privacy from kitchen. One of the things that, again, I love about the process is collaboration. And we were working with an amazing landscape architect, Andrea Cochran, a nationally renowned landscape architect. And we were working on the rear yard experience. And we just kind of said, you do your thing, here's some program. And she created this incredible sculpted landscape such that she had a dining area tucked behind a beautiful maple tree and barbecue area, but underneath it, hidden in plain sight, down below was this beautiful lanai equipped with a TV and lounging area and a bar, and even a lap pool and a fire pit. But all of it in the middle of the city is incredibly private and hidden from all the neighbors. Yet it has an amazing view of the bay. So she took what could have been a very pedestrian backyard and created not only a sculptural experience, but a phenomenally rich experience that any homeowner would die to experience.